Hello everybody, my name's Richard and welcome to Story Time. And this is my good friend Wesley. Say hello, Wesley. Oh, you can't speak, you're a puppet. Sorry about that, Wesley. I didn't want to embarrass you. Anyway, get yourself comfortable. That's it, that's a good boy. There we are. That's it, you comfortable? Good lad, good lad. Okay, now, the story we're going to do tonight is The Lorax by Dr Seuss. And here we go, if I can remember it, Wes. At the far end of town where the grickle grass grows and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows in the streets of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as he could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. Now what was the Lorax, and why was he there? Why was he lifted and taken somewhere? At the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows, the old Onceler still lives there. Ask him. He knows. Yes, he does, you know. You won't see the Onceler. Don't knock at his door. He lurks in his lurkim, cold under his store. He lurks in his lurkim, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffled moof. Muffled moof? And on special dark midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells why the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you perhaps if you're willing to pay. At the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to throw in 15 pence and a nail and the shell of a great grandfather snail. Then he counts what you've paid him, gives a most careful count to make sure that you've paid him the proper amount, and then he hides what you've paid him away in his snub, his secret storage hole in his grovular's glove. Then he shouts, I will call you by whispermaphone, for the secrets I tell are for your ears alone. And then slurp, down slurps the whispermaphone to your ear. And the sounds that come out, they're not very clear, because they have to come down through a snargly hose. And he smells like he's got smallish bees up his nose. It started way back, such a long time back. Did you know? Back in the days when the grass was still green, and the ponds were still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the sound of the swanny swans sung out in space. As one day I came to this glorious place, and I first saw those trees, those truffula trees, the bright coloured tufts of the truffula trees. Yes. Mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloo suits as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the ripulous pond came the comfortable sound of the humming, fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those truffula trees, all my life I'd been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had a sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what to do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped just one truffula tree with one chop. And with great skilful skill, and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft, and I knitted a thneed. The instant I'd finished, I heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I'd chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish, and oldish, and brownish, and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. "Mister," he said, with a sawdusty sneeze, "I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees, for the trees have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs." He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. "What's that thing you have made of my truffula tuft?" "Look, Lorax," I said, "there's no cause for alarm, no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree, one. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a thneed, and a thneed is a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt. It's a sock. It's a glove. It's a hat. But it has other uses, oh yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, and for sheets, or curtains, or covers for bicycle seats." The Lorax said, "Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who will buy that fool thneed." But the very next minute I proved he was wrong. For just at that minute, a chap came along, and he thought that the thneed I had knitted was great. And he happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. "You poor, stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy." "I repeat," cried the Lorax, "I speak for the trees." "I'm busy," I told him. "Shh, if you please." I rushed across the room, and in no time at all, built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts, and I said, "Listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Wansler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast, take the road to North Nitch, turn left at Weehawken, and sharp right at South Stitch. And in no time at all, in the factory that I built," yes, I built it, I did, "the whole Wansler family were working full stitch. We were all knitting thneeds, just as busy as bees to the sound of the chopping of truffula trees. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. It grew big. Oh yes, big. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented the super axe hacker. Whoa. Which whacked off 4 truffula trees at one smacker. We were making thneeds 4 times fast as before. And that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week, he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, "I am the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of those brown barbaloots who played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruit to go round. And my poor barbaloots are all getting the crummies because they've got gas." Pardon you? "And no food in their tummies. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys," he cried, and he sent them away. I, the onceler, felt sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crumblies in tummies, you know. I meant them no harm. I truly did not. But I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory. I biggered my roads. I biggered my wagons. And I biggered my loads. Of the thneeds I was shipping them forth. To the south, to the east, to the west, and to the north. I went on biggering, selling more thneeds. And I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again, he came back. That old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. "I am the Lorax," he coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled. He snaggered and he sniffed. "Onceler," he cried with a sawdusty croak. "Onceler, you're making such smogulous smoke. My poor swanny swans, why, they can't sing a note, because no one can sing when they got smog in their throat." "And so," said the Lorax, "please pardon my cough. They can't live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or even a year to escape from the smog that you've smogged up round here. What's more," snapped the Lorax, his dander was up, "let me say something about Gluppity Glup. Your machines chug out day and night without stop, making Gluppity Glup and Sloppity Slop." Where do they come up with these words? Anyway, "and what do you do with the leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old onceler man, you. You're glooping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed, so I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woeful and weary in search of some water, that isn't so smeary. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax, "Now, listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, yap, yap and say, bad, bad, bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffula trees into thneeds, which everyone needs." And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack from outside in the field. Came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffula tree of them all. No more trees, no more thneeds, no more work to be done. So in no time at all, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye. They jumped in their cars and drove away under a smog-filled starry sky. Now all that was left, 'neath the bad-smelling sky, was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance. As he lifted himself by the seats of his pants. I don't know how he's going to do that, but hey. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place. Through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word: unless. Whatever that means, I just couldn't guess. Mate, how you doing? Let's carry on. That was long ago, but each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now, says the onceler, now that you're here, the words of the Lorax are perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. No. So, catch, calls the onceler. He let something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last truffula seed. And truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula seed. Treat it with care. Give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest. Protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. Happy days.